Everyone thought Aisha was weak, a quiet girl who married into a wealthy family only to be mocked, ordered around, and treated like a servant by her in-laws. They insulted her clothes, her silence, her background, never knowing she held a secret worth billions. She cooked their meals while they laughed about her being useless, unaware that her name silently controlled companies they admired on TV. She swallowed every insult, every cruel whisper, not because she was helpless, but because she was waiting for the perfect moment when truth would strike louder than any slap of humiliation. The world only saw a fragile daughter-in-law, but beneath her calm eyes burned a storm of revenge. She had power they couldn't imagine, wealth they couldn't dream, and a plan that would turn their arrogance into ashes. Leaving them begging for mercy from the girl they once called worthless, Aisha had married Rian purely for love, not revealing that she was the only heir of a hidden multinational empire built by her late parents. She moved into his family home hoping for warmth, but instead was greeted with cold stares and whispered judgments. Her mother-in-law constantly reminded her she brought no dowry, her sister-in-law snatched her jewelry, and her father-in-law treated her like unpaid help. Only Rihan remained silent, too scared to stand against his family. Every night Aisha cried quietly, not from weakness, but from the pain of betrayal by the man she trusted. Yet she stayed, remembering her parents' last words to never misuse power in anger. She lived simply, hiding her true identity, watching every injustice with silent patience. But patience has limits, and the day her dignity was crushed beyond repair, the billionaire within her finally decided to rise. The storm began the morning Aisha accidentally spilled tea on her sister-in-law's expensive dress. In front of guests, her mother-in-law grabbed her wrist and shouted that she was a burden, a shame to their reputation, someone who didn't deserve their family name. Aisha stood frozen as everyone watched her humiliation like entertainment. Even Rian turned his face away. That night she packed nothing but her self-respect and walked out quietly, leaving behind the house that never felt like home. No one followed her. They believed she had nowhere to go. But before sunrise, black luxury cars lined outside their gate. Men in suits entered with legal notices and calm authority. The family woke up confused as they were handed documents showing every property, business, and account of theirs was now frozen under investigation for financial fraud filed by Aisha Enterprises, a name they had never heard. The same morning, news channels flashed her face, revealing her identity as Aisha Ahmed Khan, owner of one of the biggest private conglomerates in Asia. Cameras zoomed into their mansion while reporters questioned their cruelty. Rian rushed to find her but was stopped at the entrance of a towering glass building where she sat in a boardroom surrounded by senior executives. Her calm voice echoed as she announced new trustees for her wealth, none of them being her in-laws. When Rian begged to speak, she allowed him, but her eyes carried no softness. He asked why she hid her identity. She replied it was never about money but respect, something his family never gave. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, notices of eviction were served. The neighbors who once idolized them now whispered about karma. Servants who were mistreated left without a word. The mother-in-law cried, realizing the girl she called worthless had the power to destroy everything they owned. Rihan was given a choice: to leave his family and earn back her trust, or stay and lose her forever. He followed her silently as she walked out of the building, cameras flashing, the world now seeing the real Aisha. But she didn't smile in victory. Her revenge wasn't loud. It was quiet, sharp, and unforgettable. She bought her in-laws' mansion through legal auction and turned it into a shelter for women who faced abuse in their marriages. Each room echoed stories of strength, not pain, standing in the doorway of what once was her prison. Aisha looked at the walls, now filled with hope instead of cruelty. Her in-laws lived in a small rented house, stripped of pride but burdened with regret. Rihan visited often, not as a husband demanding forgiveness, but as a man trying to earn a place beside her again. She didn't promise reunion, only that respect must exist before love. People praised her not just for her wealth, but for using power with dignity. Her story spread across cities, teaching that silence is not weakness and kindness is not surrender. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the shelter's rooftop, she closed her eyes and felt peace. She had lost love, faced betrayal, but rebuilt herself stronger than ever. The world finally knew her worth. and the girl once humiliated became the name they would never forget.